It's been a year since Ruben Amorim became manager of Manchester United, and one thing's for sure, he loves the 3-4-2-1 formation. In fact, he made it known that not even the Pope can change his mind about it.
You said when you want to change your way, you will change, you're open to that. Do you want to change now? Is that on your mind?
No. No one, not even the Pope. Something got. It will not. This is my job. This is my responsibility. This is my life.
But the Portuguese also said this.
So I will not change that, but I will change. I will change the system. There will be an evolution.
And not too long ago, we might have witnessed the
evolution. But we need to make all the good steps and to tell him.
Because against Bournemouth, United drew 4-4 in the game. For the first time under Amorim, we saw a change in tactics and a performance that got many people talking. And this raises a question: is Amorim abandoning his system? The short answer is yes, but the long answer? No, not even close. Manchester United not only played their best game since Amorim took charge, but it was the first time we saw a back four in pockets of the Bournemouth game. On paper, nothing changed. The team sheet showed this same 3-4-2-1 we've seen all season. Dalot and Ahmad as wingbacks, a back three behind them, and for long stretches, that's exactly what United were. But football doesn't happen on paper. As soon as the game started, the picture began to shift. We know how dangerous Amad Diallo is going forward, and this is when Lenny Euro would slide across the back right spot, forming a four-man defense. We've also seen Amad push up while Dalot stays deep, and Matheus Cunha drops from his left-sided number 10 position to form more of a 4-4-2. Amad would then push all the way on the same line as the striker, and this is how he got United's first goal too. Naturally, once United took a 1-0 lead, they immediately fell back to playing with a back five out of possession. Under Amorim, the shape isn't always the point, the roles and the players are. Against Bournemouth, those roles were more fluid than we've ever seen. The attack was free-flowing, almost like something had clicked. For the first 20 minutes, Bournemouth couldn't live with it. By half-time, United had taken 17 shots. Their 2.37 expected goals in the first half was the highest they've produced all season. That doesn't happen by accident. It happens when players are given the freedom to move, to rotate, to exploit space rather than stand in zones. But that freedom came at a cost. When Bournemouth bypassed the press, they broke through easily. They completed 12 passes inside 20 yards of United's goal, more than United have conceded in any matches this season. And once Bournemouth adjusted matching United's shape, the match flipped. In the end, both teams played out a 4-4 draw, one that became an instant classic, entertaining, chaotic. The Bournemouth game wasn't about changing shape, it was about testing the limits of fluidity, and United passed part of that test brilliantly. They created more chances than they have all season, but they also exposed the next problem, because that evolution happened with everyone available. The next game didn't, and that's where the conversation shifts. The next few games, especially the one against Aston Villa, showed what the evolution looked like without their key players. Despite losing Amad and Mbemo to the African Cup of Nations, United didn't retreat on their ideas as shown in the Bournemouth game. They leaned into them. The same principles were there, the same willingness to build with flexibility rather than fixed shapes. The only difference? The profiles. Diogo Dalot returned to his right wing-back position and even played well, but Dalot is in a mod where the latter is dangerous on the attack. That's not a criticism of Dalot, it's a reality of the player's style, because when it comes to defending, Dalot's effort is just too casual. And as Roy Keane puts it,
you can have all the talent in the world, we've mentioned it time and time again, but you got to roll your sleeves up, and when the game gets a bit tight or there's moments you go, I'm going to do my bit for the team. And there's too many players like Dalot just don't do enough. When Rodgers gets the ball wide in the first goal, we're all sitting there. We know there's danger. Do they not know there's danger?
Amad isn't a natural defender, but the pressing and work rate he gives to the team is what Amorim desires from his wingbacks. The AFCON showed how much United have missed Amad on the flanks. And if you think Amorim didn't know that this was coming, think again. At the start of the season against Arsenal, Amad was left on the bench, but every time he stepped onto the pitch, he was a standout. Patrick Dorgu started 2 games in a row, but he was inconsistent, so Dalot stepped in the left wing-back on numerous occasions. Naturally, Dalot on the right and Dorgu on the left makes sense due to it being their natural positions, but the lack of quality defending from both of them leaves United's defense vulnerable. Wingbacks aren't the only area where United gets exposed. Casemiro won't be around forever, and even now, the demands of these open games ask for control in the middle that goes beyond experience. For example, when Bruno Fernandes went off injured against Villa, United didn't collapse. They continued playing according to the system. It tells you the structure is there, the patterns are forming, but creativity dipped just enough to remind you that there isn't a like-for-like presence like Bruno on the pitch. And even non-believers of Bruno knew it'll be a big blow without him on the pitch. So it's important to state that the system is settled, the understanding of the game from the players is growing, but the missing pieces are the specific profiles. Which means the questions Manchester United now face are no longer tactical, it's cultural. Whether you like Ruben Amorim or not, there's one thing that he has already changed at Manchester United: the culture. From the moment he arrived, the manager made one thing clear: commitment isn't optional, it's mandatory. And this is where his reign truly separates itself from what came before. Amorim's first season was the embodiment of cultural decay, a squad full of highly paid individuals with little effort to show for their wages. But in the space of 1 year, that identity has been violently rewritten. Instead of ignoring the problems, he held players accountable to a standard that actually meant something. And the result? The exit of high-profile names like Garnacho and Rashford. That was carried out with a coldness that shocked the club's biggest supporters. This wasn't about punishment, it was about alignment. And the clearest sign of that alignment is that Amorim applied the same standard to everyone, including the players he knew well, like Manuel Ugarte. At Sporting, Ugarte was trusted, relied upon, a core member of Amorim's midfield. But why hasn't that carried over? The easy answer is that he should be playing more. The honest answer is harder. First, the Premier League is probably the toughest league in the world, and second, Ugarte has yet to show enough to meet the demands of this version of the system. He struggled against Aston Villa and was replaced by Lisandro Martinez. And to add to Ugarte's embarrassment, Martinez's performance was better. He completed 97% of his passes and played more than twice the amount of progressive passes than Ugarte. Past relationships don't matter for Amorim. In the past, players like Rashford would still find their way onto the team sheet, despite their lackluster training and match performances. 1 goal was enough in the case of Rashford. But now, even if you're not an Amorim signing, as long as your effort is the exact standard required, you will play regularly. Casemiro is the perfect example of that. He wasn't signed by Amorim, he wasn't part of the long-term plan, but he worked, he adapted, he earned the trust of the manager, and as long as he continues to show it on the pitch, he remains useful. That message travels fast inside the dressing room. Play your way in or find yourself out. There's no room for entitlement. This cultural shift is why also certain positions are now under the microscope. Up front, the picture is clear: Šeško, Cunha, Mbeumo. Profiles that fit the demands of the system and the intensity of the press. But elsewhere, the work is unfinished. Midfield still needs a long-term controller, someone ready to inherit the responsibility Casemiro currently carries. That's what Amorim expects Kobbie Mainoo or the other academy graduates to become. But they won't get there by being entitled to it. And right now, Kobbie Mainoo finds himself at a crossroads. The academy graduate has seen his minutes drastically reduced under Amorim, and the whispers are getting louder. Just recently, Mainoo's brother was spotted wearing a t-shirt that read "Free Kobbie Mainoo," a culture in the past which Amorim wants to change, the feeling of entitlement. And if there's anything Mainoo learned from his friends who aren't at the club anymore, Mainoo doesn't look like he wants to stay to fight for his place. Perhaps he made up his mind after this comment from a club legend.
Back to Kobbie Mainoo. This is a 20-year-old kid. He's gonna have to leave.
There isn't a single Man United fan that wants Mainu to leave and wants him to succeed. A club proud of their traditions is fielding academy players every year. But fans also want him to succeed, and the faster the resolution to the situation, the better for both parties. The fullback areas also remain a part of the structure that isn't strong. In Amorim's system, these aren't supporting roles. They're load-bearing ones, decision-makers, transitional anchors, players who must think faster than the game. The defense isn't broken, but the amount of goals United have conceded this season is staggering. If there's another change coming up, we can be sure that United are looking to add quality at the back. So let's address the elephant in the room. 1 year ago, Ruben Amorim stood in front of the Old Trafford, faithful on the final day of the season, and made a promise. And you know what? The doubters laughed.
In my first 3 games in charge, I said to you, the storm is coming. Today, after this disaster season, I want to tell you the good days are coming.
The critics dismissed it as another manager saying what the fans wanted to hear. Another false dawn at a club that had been synonymous with broken promises. But here are the facts. In the first 11 games last season under Ten Hag and Van Nistelrooy, United won 4, drew 3, lost 4, scored 12 goals and conceded 12. 15 points and sat in 13th position before Amorim's first game in charge against Ipswich. This season saw United record 5 wins, 3 draws, 3 losses, scored 19 goals and conceded 18. That leaves them with a positive goal difference. 7th position on 18 points. More chances created? Checked. More goals scored? Checked. But here's what the numbers can't capture. The feel-good factor is back. Fans get excited again watching them. The attack has been given to Amorim. Now it's about finding the right players in defense and midfield. A club as big as United always demands instant success, and supporters of the club are the culprits here. But there's progression which is clear for all to see. A culture reset, a board willing to back him with the players that fit, a manager who clearly has a plan going forward. We've never seen anything like this since post-Ferguson, so it's the best time to back him, to trust the process, and to support the evolution. If you're a Manchester United fan watching this, do you agree with the progression that's been made? What else should Amorim be doing? And the golden question, how much time would you give him?